In this video, I'm about to show you 21 things that your plumber knows but has never told you. These aren't trade secrets. These are simple observations that plumbers make every day. Observations that would save you money. Observations that would keep your plumbing working for years longer. But plumbers don't tell you, because knowledge is power. And power means you do not call them. Let's get into it. Thing 21. The whole house water filter needs maintenance. If you have a whole house water filter, it has a sediment filter. That filter traps dirt and rust. Plumbers know that homeowners forget to change the filter. They leave it for years. The filter clogs. Pressure drops throughout the house. You call a plumber. They replace the filter. They charge you $150. The filter costs $20. The 1% change their whole house filter every 3 months. They buy the replacement from Pentec or GE. They unscrew the housing. They swap the filter. 10 minutes. Their water pressure stays strong. Plumbers know about forgotten filters. They see them every day. They do not tell you because a clogged filter is an easy service call. The 1% change their own filter. Thing 20. The water hammer arrestor is missing from your house. When you shut off a faucet quickly, you hear a bang. That is water hammer. Plumbers know that water hammer damages pipes. It loosens fittings. It causes leaks. The code requires water hammer arresters on fast-closing valves like washing machines. Most homes do not have them. Builders skip them to save money. The 1% install water hammer arresters. Fluidmaster makes the 610 series. It screws onto any washing machine valve. It costs $15. It absorbs the shock. No bang, no damage. Plumbers know about water hammer arresters. They install them on new construction. They do not tell you about retrofitting because water hammer that loosens a fitting is a service call. The 1% spend $15. Thing 19. The dishwasher drain hose needs a high loop too. Behind your dishwasher, there is a gray drain hose. It connects to the sink drain or garbage disposal. Plumbers know that this hose needs a high loop. The hose needs to go up to the bottom of the countertop, then down to the drain. That high loop prevents dirty sink water from flowing back into your dishwasher. Without it, your dishes come out dirty. The 1% check their dishwasher drain hose. They make sure it has a high loop. They secure it with a zip tie if it falls down. Their dishes come out clean. Plumbers know about the high loop. They install it on every dishwasher. They do not tell you because a dishwasher that leaves dirty dishes is a service call. The 1% lift their hose. Thing 18. The toilet supply line is the same as your washing machine hose. Behind every toilet, there is a small braided supply line. Plumbers know that this line has the same lifespan as your washing machine hoses. 5 years. That braided steel looks tough. But inside, there is a rubber hose. That rubber hose dries out. It cracks. It bursts. When a toilet supply line bursts, it puts out 4 gallons per minute. Your bathroom floods in minutes. The 1% replace their toilet supply lines every 5 years. They buy Fluidmaster or Brasscraft. They cost $8 each. They install in 5 minutes. Their bathrooms stay dry. Plumbers see burst toilet lines every week. They do not tell you because a flooded bathroom is a $1,500 repair. The 1% spend $8. Thing 17. The faucet aerator is the first thing you should check. Low water pressure. You call a plumber, they quote you a repipe for $8,000. Plumbers know that in 85% of the country, the problem is not the pipes. The U.S. Geological Survey says 85% of American homes have hard water. Hard water leaves mineral deposits. Those deposits build up inside the aerator. The screen clogs. The pressure drops. The 1% unscrew the aerator. They drop it in white vinegar overnight. They rinse it. They screw it back on. The pressure returns. Cost $0. Plumbers check the aerator first on every service call. They do not tell you because a clogged aerator is not a repipe. The 1% check the aerator, their pipes stay in the walls. Thing 16. The drain cleanout in your yard is there for a reason. Every house has a main drain cleanout. It is usually a white or black plastic cap sticking out of the ground. Plumbers know that homeowners have no idea what it is. They plant bushes around it. They bury it under mulch. That cleanout is the access point to your main sewer line. If you cannot find it, the plumber has to pull a toilet. That costs more. The 1% know where their cleanout is. They keep it clear. They make sure they can open it with a wrench. When the sewer backs up, they walk to the cleanout. They open it. The plumber snakes from there. The job costs $200 instead of $400. The 1% keep their cleanout visible. Thing 15. The expansion tank next to your water heater is probably flat. If you have a thermal expansion tank, it is a small metal tank next to your water heater. Watts makes the best ones. That tank has an air bladder inside. It absorbs pressure spikes. When the bladder loses air, the tank fills with water. It stops working. Your water heater pressure spikes. Your water heater fails early. The 1% check their expansion tank air pressure once a year. They shut off the water. They open a hot water faucet. They screw a tire pressure gauge onto the air valve on top of the tank. The pressure should match their house pressure. If it is low, they add air with a bicycle pump. Plumbers check the air valve on every service call. The 1% check their tank. Thing 14. The water heater temperature dial is set too high on purpose. Plumbers know that water heater manufacturers set the default temperature to 140 degrees. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission recommends 120 degrees. At 140 degrees, water causes a serious scald burn in 5 seconds. At 120, the same burn takes 5 minutes. The manufacturers ship at 140 because hotter water feels like better performance. The 1% adjust their water heater to 120 degrees. The Department of Energy says this saves 8 to 16% on water heating costs. That is $40 to $80 per year. They never worry about a grandchild getting scalded. Plumbers know about the default setting. They do not adjust it because they do not want the liability. The 1% turn the dial themselves. Thing 13. The water shutoff valve in your house is seized and you do not know it. Plumbers know that most main water shutoff valves do not work. Gate valves from Nibco and Mueller seize up when they are not operated regularly. The stem rusts. When you need to shut off the water in an emergency, the valve will not move. The Insurance Information Institute says water damage accounts for nearly 24% of all homeowner claims. The average payout is over $11,000. The 1% test their main shutoff valve twice a year. They turn it off, they turn it back on. If it is seized, they replace it with a quarter-turn ball valve from Apollo. Plumbers see seized valves every day. The 1% test their valve. Their peace of mind is priceless. Thing 12. The outdoor hose bib has a secret drain. Every outdoor hose bib has a long stem that goes through the wall. That stem can freeze. If it freezes, it cracks. Water leaks inside your wall. You do not see it until the drywall is soaked. Plumbers know that quality hose bibs have a drain port. On a Woodford or Pryor hose bib, there is a small hole under the handle. When you shut off the water, that hole opens. It lets any water remaining in the stem drain out. The 1% make sure their hose bibs have this feature. When they shut off the water for winter, they leave the hose bib open. The water drains out. The stem stays dry. No freeze. Plumbers use the drain port on their own homes. They do not tell you because a cracked hose bib is a $1,500 repair. The 1% check their bibs. Thing 11. The water heater seismic straps are installed wrong in most homes. If you live in an earthquake zone, your water heater needs seismic straps. 2 metal straps that wrap around the tank and bolt to the wall studs. They keep the tank from tipping over. A tipping water heater can rupture the gas line. A gas leak and an ignition source equals an explosion. Plumbers know that most seismic straps are installed wrong. They are too loose. They are screwed into drywall instead of studs. The 1% check their seismic straps. They make sure the straps are tight. They make sure the screws go into wood studs. When the earthquake comes, their water heater stays standing. Plumbers see bad strap installations every day. The 1% check their own straps. Their families stay safe. Thing 10. The washing machine drain hose needs a high loop. Look behind your washing machine. See the gray drain hose? Plumbers know that the way that hose is routed determines whether your laundry room smells like sewage. If that hose is pushed too far down the standpipe, it can siphon sewer gas back into your washing machine. Sewer gas contains methane. It is toxic. The 1% make sure their drain hose has a high loop. The hose goes up to the top of the machine, then down to the standpipe. That high loop breaks the siphon. No smell, no danger. Plumbers install the high loop on every machine. They do not tell you because a smelly laundry room is a service call. The 1% lift their hose. Thing 9. The water softener salt you buy matters more than you think. If you have a water softener, you buy salt for it. Plumbers know that the type of salt you choose affects how long your softener lasts. Solar salt is made by evaporating seawater. It is the purest form. Pellet salt contains binders. Those binders turn into sludge. That sludge clogs the resin bed. The softener stops working. You buy a new one for $600. The 1% buy solar salt. Morton makes it. It costs $2 more per bag. That $2 saves you $600. Plumbers see the sludge from pellet salt when they replace softeners. The 1% buy solar. Their softeners last 15 years instead of 8. Thing 8. The ice maker supply line is a ticking time bomb. Behind your refrigerator, there is a small plastic tube. It supplies water to your ice maker. Plumbers know that this plastic becomes brittle over time. It cracks, it leaks, water soaks into your floor. It rots the subfloor. You do not know until the floor buckles. The 1% replace their plastic ice maker line with braided stainless steel. Eastman and Brasscraft make them. They cost $15. They install in 5 minutes. They do not crack. They last for 20 years. Plumbers see failed plastic lines every week. They do not tell you because a flooded kitchen is a $5,000 claim. The 1% spend $15. Their kitchens stay dry. Thing 7. The garbage disposal is not a trash can. Plumbers know that homeowners treat their garbage disposal like a trash can. Potato peels, eggshells, coffee grounds, pasta, grease. A garbage disposal is not a trash can. It chops food into small pieces. Those pieces go into your drain pipes. They settle. They combine with grease. They form solid blockages. The 1% put only small scraps down their disposal. No peels, no shells, no grounds, no grease. They scrape plates into the trash first. Their drains stay clear. Their disposals last for 15 years. Plumbers see disposals destroyed by misuse every week. The 1% treat their disposal with respect. Thing 6. The toilet paper you use is clogging your sewer line. Plumbers know which toilet paper brands cause clogs. Charmin Ultra Soft, Cottonelle, any plush or comfort paper. These papers are thick and soft. They do not break down in water. They stick to pipe walls. They catch grease and hair. They build into massive clogs that require a $300 snake. The 1% use Scott Rapid Dissolving Toilet Paper. It is thin. It breaks apart in seconds. It does not clog pipes. Plumbers use Scott in their own bathrooms. They do not tell you because a clogged sewer line pays the bills. The 1% buy the green roll. Their sewer lines stay open. Thing 5. Your washing machine hoses have an expiration date. Look behind your washing machine. See those black rubber hoses? Plumbers know that those hoses have a lifespan of 5 years. The Insurance Institute for Business and Home Safety says washing machine hose failures are one of the top 5 causes of water damage claims. The average claim is over $10,000. When a rubber hose bursts, it puts out 2 gallons per minute. In 3 hours, you have a flooded basement. The 1% replace their rubber hoses with braided stainless steel. Eastman flood-safe hoses cost $25 per pair. They have an automatic shutoff. If the hose bursts, a valve inside closes. The water stops. Plumbers use braided hoses in their own homes. They do not tell you because a burst rubber hose is an emergency call at triple rates. The 1% spend $25. They save $10,000. Thing 4, the flapper in your toilet is being eaten by your water. Plumbers know something about your water that you do not. Most American water systems switched from chlorine to chloramine over the last 20 years. Chloramine is a more stable disinfectant, but chloramine destroys rubber. Standard rubber flappers that used to last 4 or 5 years now last 2. The 1% know that Corky makes a flapper from EPDM rubber. The Corky 2021 BP is engineered to resist chloramines. It lasts 50% longer. Plumbers use the Corky flapper in their own homes. They do not install it on your toilet because the standard Fluidmaster flapper costs $8 and the Corky costs $12. They keep the $4 difference. The 1% buy the Corky. Their toilets run for 5 years instead of 2. Thing 3. The water pressure in your house is probably destroying your appliances. Plumbers know that most homes have water pressure that is too high. The ideal range is 50 to 75 psi. Most municipal systems deliver 60 to 150 psi. When pressure is above 80 psi, it destroys your appliances. Your washing machine hoses fail 3 times faster. Your dishwasher valves leak. Your water heater pressure relief valve drips. Here is the thing that plumbers know. A Watts water pressure gauge costs $15. It screws onto any outdoor hose bib. You read the gauge. If it is over 80 psi, you need a pressure-reducing valve. A Watts PRV costs $150 to $250 installed. That is cheap compared to replacing your washing machine every 5 years. The 1% test their pressure every 6 months. They install a PRV before their appliances fail. The 1% buy the gauge. Their appliances live longer. Thing 2. The Drano you buy actually damages your pipes. This thing right here. Plumbers love that you buy Drano because Drano sends them work. Here is what plumbers know. Drano Max Gel contains sodium hydroxide, industrial lye. When that lye reacts with water, it generates heat up to 210 degrees. PVC pipes have a temperature rating of about 140 degrees. You are putting 210 degrees into a pipe rated for 140. Repeated exposure softens the PVC. It warps the fittings. Drano does not fix your clog. It creates a more expensive problem. The 1% do not buy Drano. They buy a rigid hand snake for $25. They buy a Zip-It drain tool for $3. They clear their clogs physically. Their pipes stay intact. Plumbers see Drano damaged pipes every week. They do not tell you because a pipe that softens and fails needs to be replaced. The 1% use tools. Their pipes last 50 years. Thing 1. Your water heater anode rod is designed to be replaced every 3 years. Let me start with the biggest secret in the water heater industry. Every tank water heater has an anode rod. Rheem, Bradford White, AO, Smith, all of them. That rod is a long metal stick inside your tank. Its only job is to corrode. It corrodes so the steel tank does not. When the rod is gone, the tank starts corroding. The tank leaks. You buy a new water heater. That is the plan. Here is the thing that plumbers know. That anode rod should be replaced every 3 years. The Department of Energy says so. A replacement magnesium rod costs $20 to $40. A powered anode rod from Coro Protec costs $60 to $80 and lasts the life of the tank. A plumber will not tell you about the anode rod because a dead anode rod means your water heater fails in 8 years instead of 20. And a failed water heater is a $1,500 replacement job. The 1% check their anode rod every 3 years. They spend $20. Their water heaters last 20 years. Plumbers see anode rods every day. They do not mention them because a customer who replaces their own anode rod does not buy a new water heater. The 1% look for the hex head on top of their water heater. They remove it. They check the rod. If it is down to bare wire, they replace it. Their tanks stay intact. Before you go, let me leave you with this final thought. The most expensive plumbing problem is the one you ignore. A dripping faucet, a running toilet. These problems do not fix themselves. They get worse. The 1% fix small problems immediately. They do not wait, because a $20 fix today is a $2,000 emergency next month. Do not be the 99%. Fix the drip. Your future self will thank you. And here is one more thing that plumbers know. The best time to learn about your plumbing is before something breaks. Not at 2 in the morning when water is spraying across your floor. Take 30 minutes this weekend. Walk through your house. Find your main shutoff valve. Find your access panels. Find your cleanout. Test your water pressure. Check your anode rod. That 30 minutes could save you thousands. That is the difference between the 1% and the 99%. The 1% prepare, the 99% react. Be the 1%. I also want to add this. Most of these fixes take less time than watching a television show. 15 minutes to check your anode rod. 5 minutes to test your water pressure. 10 minutes to replace a toilet supply line. 30 minutes total once a year. That is all it takes to avoid a flooded basement, a burst pipe, or a $1,000 repair bill. Plumbers know this. They spend 30 minutes on preventive maintenance in their own homes every year. That is why they rarely have emergencies. That is why they sleep through the night. You can do the same thing. 30 minutes. That is the price of peace of mind.